song is that? Thank you, India.
No, that's a different song. Yeah.
So welcome back, guys.
All right.
Yeah, we're back.
Better than ever.
Yeah.
Matt brought in some Stillhouse Apple Crisp whiskey.
Oh
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Cheers.
It's fall.
Cheers.
Oh. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, I'm gonna need some more.
God, that's good.
Yes.
So how's everybody doing?
Like warm apple pie.
I'm doing great, Rob.
Good. Me too.
Yeah, doing
Matt,
all right.
Work treating you good?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
Wow.
So today we're going to be dedicating a whole episode to Jack Black.
Jack Black. And it's kind of fitting that I'm over here jamming
Yeah.
true Jack Black style. You know what I'm saying?
For real. So, do we want to roll?
Yeah, let's roll. Where are we at?
Right here.
I can never see it. I've always got this right. All right. Hey, let's see.
Let's see.
What the gods dictate. A 20.
Damn.
So Matt goes first, I guess.
I go last unless somebody ties.
I thought 20 was the high.
20 is the highest.
Yeah, it's the highest number.
Oh,
Highest
you
number
go
wins.
first. Oh, okay. You know what? I did it wrong last time then.
I was gonna say.
Okay, me and Greg.
Okay.
All right.
I thought, the highest
Yeah.
number goes first.
We have a 20-sided die or
12.
12. Okay.
a D20 as it's known in the D&D community.
What is that, a 6? All right, so Matt, Greg, and then me.
Matt,
Okay.
Greg, Rob.
Yeah. Matt, Greg, Rob.
Matt,
Yeah.
Greg, Rob. MGR, baby.
NGR, dude.
MGR. All right. Well, I might have had the easiest yet most daunting task of all of us.
Going through his extensive
Yeah.
repertoire
It's like,
of works.
I say
yeah.
it's easy because there's so much there. So many films, so much TV.
But how do you pick?
And I didn't.
You know?
So what I want to know, I'm going to set this down. Then I'm going to grab my beer. What I want to know is what is the first I'll kind of phrase it. I'll phrase it this way. What's the first movie you remember seeing Jack Black in where you took note of like, okay, like he stood out to you, but then like what also because the way and I know you had a similar experience. So the way that I remember seeing him is like in a certain role that stood out. Like for me, it was Saving Silverman.
Right.
But then going back and realizing he was in things like Waterworld.
The Jackal.
Yeah, Never Ending Story 3. Things like that. The Cable Guy, where he played a small, like he was like the best friend or the buddy or whatever. So
I think for me it was Be Kind Rewind was the very first thing. I was like, okay, this is
or he
pretty
stood
cool.
out to you.
Yeah, he stood
with
out
Most
to me.
Def.
Yeah.
That's a hilarious fucking movie.
It's so good.
It really is. It's
and
underrated.
It's so different, and
Yeah.
it's got that like cult, like following kind of thing. So it's kind of like an underground. It had an underground movie feel to it the entire time.
Yeah,
You know?
which is funny because that's kind of like what the movie is.
Right,
Like that they're making.
Right,
yeah,
right.
These like bootleg
Versions of it that are
Kinda.
just so over the top. And
No, to anybody who hasn't seen it, I recommend it. Like it's probably, I think it is one of his best
yeah,
roles, like at least that I've seen.
yeah.
And I think that was around the same time of Tropic Thunder, which was another.
The dude that cares.
Yeah, Jeff Portnoy.
Oh my God! Fuck
Jeff
you!
Portnoy.
You don't know me.
Yeah,
It's
Jeff
not
Portnoy.
just fart jokes.
Yeah,
And then, fuck no, you can't have any jelly beans. Or you think you're the only one that gets sick and you can't have his jelly beans? I could quote so much from that movie, but the most quotable lines are from Robert Downey Jr. by far.
Oh,
And
definitely.
if we're talking Tropic Thunder,
Yeah,
real quick,
yeah.
like,
well, I mean, early 2000s was like, I mean, he really hit. So, I mentioned Saving Silverman, Shallow Hal, Tenacious D was getting big around that time.
Yeah.
You know, Orange County. Yeah, with Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
You know, he was starting to do more voiceover work. He was in Ice Age.
Yeah, okay. Kung Fu Panda. When did Kung Fu Panda? When did that come out?
Kung Fu Panda was, I want to say, let's see, Nacho Libre was 2006. Kung Fu Panda had to be...
It was 2008.
2008 was Kung Fu Panda. 2008, that he had a lot of good stuff come around that time, actually. Yeah, because Kung Fu Panda, we mentioned Tropic Thunder.
You've got so many comedic greats in Tropic Thunder, by the way, with Danny McBride.
Oh, dude, it's
Ben
insane.
Stiller. Right, like it's insane.
So you want to hear something funny about Tropic Thunder, Kung Fu Panda? So when I was still living at my parents' house at this time, I was in the basement, and I would come and like I would come upstairs. My dad was always watching movies. That's where I get it from. You know, it's just like he was a big movie guy, and every once in a while he'd have something on. I was like, what? Like it just kind of like out of the norm.
Yeah.
And I come upstairs. He's watching Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I didn't really say anything. I was just like, oh, okay. And then like a couple days later, I walk in and like he's watching it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this time I'm gonna say something. And I'm like, are you watching Kung Fu Panda again? And he's like, well, I mean, you know, I didn't like see it from like the very beginning last time, so I wanted to watch the whole thing. I was like, okay,
Fair
sure.
enough.
And then like a week later, I come upstairs and like he's watching it again. And I'm like, okay, I definitely. I'm just gonna be like, are you? You know? And he was like,
Got a new favorite movie there.
and
huh?
yeah, and he was just kind of like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, well, it is really good.
It is funny,
Yeah.
man. I go back and watch it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. I mean, like my dad at that point had to have been. I mean, he was in his 50s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so it's like, okay.
It's just your dad. Just you know, the persona that he kind of put off. You know.
Yeah, and then it's just like
watch a big giant panda cartoon.
I think one of his funniest movies, not my favorite, but I think it might be his funniest role, is Year One.
Oh yeah,
With him and Michael Cera.
Okay.
That was a
yeah,
good
yeah,
Where they're
yeah,
like
that's
cavemen.
right.
I like that one.
Oh my God. Dude, just, it's like almost every line in that movie, like from him and Michael Cera, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole movie's fucking hilarious.
right.
Just, dude, like there's almost nothing he says in that movie that's not funny. Just like, even when it's not meant to be, you're just like, God, he's fucking cracking.
Right.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorites is he eats the apple from like the tree of knowledge, you know, and he's like, ask me a question, and he's like, there's a snake on my foot. He's like, in the form of a question. He's like, there's a snake on my foot? Correct.
Right.
But I just, oh man, one of and this is going back a little to the year 2000. It was a movie. The year 2000. It was a movie I didn't see when it came out. I had seen it a couple years later, but High Fidelity with John Cusack, where he works in the record store. And this was probably Jack Black's like big break, I would say, to where like it was the first time he was in like a big role.
A big budget. Big role.
Yeah. And it was one of those things. I mean, the film itself has a specific kind of flow and like, you know, vibe to it and feeling. And when Jack Black shows up, it's just Jack Black. You know what I mean? Like pretty much like show stealing, you know. He does in that movie, like I think it's towards the end, he does a concert, like his band that's like in the movie, and he sings Let's Get It On Yeah, by Marvin Gaye. And it's honestly really fucking good because he can sing like a motherfucker. And I think, people, they're like, who is this guy? Like the whole movie, like there's the scene, like, I think towards the beginning where like John Cusack, the other guy, and like they're listening to like, I don't like the Smiths or something like that's like depressing, and Jack Black comes in and he puts on Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves, and he's like, come on, like we gotta get just doing his like Jack Black thing, and he just poured so much of like his essence into that role of like, this is Jack Black, and like now people know who that is.
So for me, that defining moment was when I played Brutal Legend, honestly, when I was like, okay, this guy's got fucking balls. He's got comedic chutzpah or chops. He's got good comedic chops, and I like his music too. The greatest song in the world. What is that? It's not
Tribute.
Tribute. That's right. Tribute. So for me, that's when I was like, damn, because he's a really good actor, he's a really good musician, and he put out a really good video game, a really solid one. So that was my moment.
Wasn't he? I know you talked about him being in Waterworld.
Yeah.
Wasn't he was like the pilot?
Yeah, he was the pilot, and as a little girl is like, as the shot, there's a little girl waving at the pilot, and his line was, "That's cute."
It's cute. I could just picture him saying that too. Yeah.
There's a whole story behind that too. Like he was, as extras, I guess, in Hollywood, you would have to show up to these studios, and there's no guarantee that they would pick you. So he was doing this and doing this and doing that. No, that was for Demolition Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man,
he was in Demolition Man.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's the one.
That's what I'm saying. Like
back in '93 too. Yeah.
Look at all of the. I mean, he was in. You guys remember Mr. Show with Bob and David?
Yeah.
No.
With Bob Odenkirk and David Cross.
That's where
it is probably my favorite. If you've never watched it, Rob, you need to.
Okay.
Because that's probably my favorite sketch comedy show. Better than, I would say, even better than.
Is this streaming on anything?
Chappelle Show.
It's probably on HBO, isn't it?
Because it was an HBO show.
Right.
And that's just my opinion when I say that, by the way.
Sure.
Because Chappelle's Show is a close second for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
but,
I love Chappelle's
But
Show.
Mr. Show with Bob and David, like, that one just, like, it gets my humor, But he's in, like, a handful of episodes of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Mars Attacks, he was, like, one of the soldiers.
He was an army dude,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember that guy. Okay.
Yeah. He had he kind of looked like he did in Tropic Thunder.
Right.
Yeah,
like
with
the blonde hair.
Yeah, the buzz cut.
Yeah.
He, I mean, everybody was in fucking Mars Attacks.
Right.
That'd be
I
a
love
good.
that movie.
I
need to watch that one
I was
again.
gonna say that'd be a good one to cover later. So kind of this is kind of a side note since we're talking about it. Do you know why Jack Nicholson played both the? Because remember he was the president and then he was like the tycoon.
The tycoon.
Yeah. Do you know why he played multiple roles? He so apparently he read the script and he said that he loved it so much he wished he could play every character.
Yeah.
He was like, I want to just play like every character in this movie because this seems so awesome.
Wonder if that was before Nutty Professor.
Oh,
when like Eddie Murphy played
Eddie
every
Murphy
character.
started doing that. Then Mike Myers later on with like Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And it's funny that Tropic Thunder comes out and that's like one of the characters at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Of like the movie.
Yeah, kind of like the Nutty Professor type movie with Jack Black's character.
Well, that whole movie trailer is based off of the Nutty Professor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the fatties.
The fatties.
Yeah. The fatties fart 3. Fart 2, whichever one was.
Yeah.
I think it was fart 2 because then he's like later he's like, I can get you a roll in fatties fart 3. Yeah. School of Rock was another big one.
So that's good. That's a all around just good movie.
I would say that was his first
Cello,
you got a bass. So Shallow Hal was his first like starring role.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would say as far as a breakout starring role, it was School of Rock. I think that really put him out there. Because that was like 2003, and then you started seeing him do stuff like...
Yeah, because School of Rock was huge. Because they had the whole story with the kid, actually playing the music.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, so I think that helped him push it like way mainstream.
Well,
I did too. It brought him into households.
I was going to say.
It brought him... It was like the fighting role that made him semi-wholesome for kids.
Yeah.
You know?
It broadened his audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he hosted the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards for like how many years?
Yeah.
Like, he's done it, I think, more than any other celebrity. And most recently he was in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
And most recently, after that, before that, or right around that, he was in The Mandalorian, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. He was. He was in like an episode or two or something.
A couple.
Yeah. Him and Lizzo. Yeah. Which is like, I don't know. I like that pairing. Like, I could see them do more stuff together. Like, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because after School of Rock, that was when you start. Like, he was in Shark Tale with Will Smith and like that cartoon with the fish and the.
He was.
Yeah. He's the shark.
That's right. He's the.
Because that came out like right when Finding Nemo came out too.
The androgynous shark that was a vegetarian and had some really close ties to like gay acceptance and tolerance and everything.
Yeah, he didn't want to be like the other sharks and stuff. And then he did like Nacho Libre, like some more like family, Kung Fu Panda. Again, we mentioned that. Yeah. So like you said, I mean, and he was continuing to do other stuff that was like R-rated, like Pick of Destiny came out during that time. Obviously we've mentioned Year One and
he was in Walk Hard.
He played Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
But then like Gulliver's Travels,
I was going to mention that
family movie.
Yep.
And he's continued to do, it's like the more we see him, you see his range, not just of talent, but the fact that, he's not, he hasn't at one point, I think in at least that I've ever found, been pigeonholed into like, okay, you are this type of actor. Like, you're just going to do these, like, raunchy comedies.
Right.
Okay.
I've seen him run the gambit.
Has he? Name a drama that he's been in.
I would...
leading dramatic,
I mean, King Kong was more of an action, but it's still a dramatic role for him.
Yeah.
Says he was in Enemy of the State. That was like an action.
I'm talking about like
a drama,
and he's like the lead character in it.
Well, did you ever see a movie called Bernie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about that one?
It was based on a true story. It was this guy that like lived with his mom, and his mom was like overbearing and stuff. I mean, he was in like his 40s, 50s, something like that. So like he had like
I would say that was like a dramatic comedy. I don't think it was really, there's comedic moments.
But it was based on a true story that he kills his mom and like stuffs her in the freezer.
Really?
Yeah, I know I've seen parts of that.
And he plays the guy. Yeah, like it was like an indie film, so it's not like that popular or anything, but he's done. I mean, like
here's what I will say. Whatever he's done very well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't do this half-ass cheesy shit. Like. No,
I've never seen him in something where I'm like,
man, he was awful.
He was awful, or he just phoned it in for a paycheck or something.
Correct.
Like and that kind of goes back to what I was saying with High Fidelity being like his big break and his big exposure to the world, and he really, really like put himself, like his essence into that to show like, boom, like I'm big, I'm loud, this is who I am, I'm Jack Black, you're gonna fucking remember me. And I mean everything he's ever done, I think he brings that same energy.
Yeah.
always.
I've heard that he's like real open to like the fans and stuff. Like
I could see
a lot of like celebrities in his standing or like kind of like, you know, just need to get from point A to point B, but he actually will.
Yeah.
As I've seen videos.
Have you ever seen his do a kickflip videos on YouTube?
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, it seems like no matter what he does in his life, he just brings that energy.
Yeah,
you know that, like you said. I mean, he's leaving his house and he's like, all right, I'm gonna run into some people and I fucking love every second of it.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm gonna have some fun. I just saw a video of him. He was like out on the streets, like for like the strike. Like the writer's strike or something, and like ran into some people and like just started like he was like singing with them, you know what I mean, like dance, like just whatever, like, you know, I mean, it's just that constant like that positive energy and like just that essence of like we're gonna go big and we're gonna be loud and happy and everybody should feel that way.
Yeah,
he really brings in energy.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I've enjoyed from him over the years in anything he does, but especially like with me being such a big, you know, movie person. Anytime he shows up.
For sure.
Even like Anchorman.
Yeah.
Which is such a like, I mean, there's so much talent, so many funny people in that movie.
Which news did he play?
No, he was the biker.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, when Ron Burgundy's like, oh, this burrito's so filling, and just like throws it out the window.
Thrashed my hog.
What the hell, brah? Just throw a burrito? Yeah. He's the one that kicks the dog. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, this just happened.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, you destroyed the only thing I love.
The so man punted back.
What do you love? I love poetry.
Good scotch.
And of course, old Baxter here. All right. Well, this is happening. Yeah, and it's just like I said.
Right. Yeah.
I think we could learn a lot just from watching him.
Absolutely.
You know,
because he is a good comedian. I mean, we forget that he's a comedian as well, not just an actor, not just a musician. Yeah.
So Beastie Boys put out a video. It was 2011.
Yeah.
For like their new single that was coming out, but they put out this real long extended music video. It had Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly.
I remember that. But
it had Jack Black. It had Elijah Wood, and they all played the Beastie Boys. And it takes place from the "Fight for Your Right" video.
Yeah,
it takes place like when they're leaving that apartment.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then they go outside and like. I think it's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly and I guess Danny McBride show up in like the DeLorean and they're like the future Beastie Boys. And they, you know, like, and they have like a dance off. It's great.
Wow.
So, Greg, I'm excited to kind of see your take on his music and influences and stuff.
Right.
I mean, his latest hit was from fucking Mario Brothers. Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you.
Yeah. So, when we talk about the music, we go back to the 80s.
Really? He's been around that long, huh?
Well, okay, mid-80s is when he met Kyle Gass.
Okay.
At this theater club out in L.A., okay? And Kyle Gass was like the house musician or whatever. Okay. He was the guy that was playing guitar and all this and that. And so Jack Black joins. And cool. Like, so he really took to that. And it's kind of funny because the Pick of Destiny kind of is like a biography.
Of how they met and everything.
It's kind of true, but it's not really true. Like, Kyle Gass kind of felt threatened by Jack Black coming in and like wanting to be the musician. Like, so I'm the musician, blah, blah, blah. So like but they started hanging out, and like eventually they became friends or whatever, and like so the deal was Kyle would teach Jack Black how to play guitar and teach him the music of it, and then Jack Black would do Kyle's bidding pretty much. It was like Kyle Gass like knew he could take advantage of Jack Black and exploit him, but like Jack Black could give Kyle Gass like the break that he needed.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So you know, like in the movie, like the Pick of Destiny, you know, Kyle Gass is all, you know,
well,
like,
and I bet that's kind of reflective of his true personality, right? Like Kyle Gass in his own right is a really excellent musician, but he's kind of introverted, and he doesn't have that pizzazz that Jack Black brings.
And here
to the
comes
table.
Jack Black with like the stage presence and that, like, but he don't know how to play guitar at all. So they taught, but
Monster Mash.
My
Monster Mash.
Right.
Can you grab me another beer?
So it was like mid-90s, they finally decide that they're going to do a band. And it was kind of funny, like, they're up there on stage, and like, they had the audience vote for their band name. Okay.
I thought it was their ass birthmark.
At first, they were called the Axe Lords featuring Garganzon's Mischief. That was their band name. Okay, so they're up on stage, and they're like, they asked the crowd to vote. Like, should it be Pets or Meat, Balboa's Biblical Theater, and then they had the Axe Lords featuring Garganzo's Mischief or Tenacious D.
Okay.
And so the crowd voted Tenacious D, I guess, and they were kind of pushing for that. But do you guys know what the D stands for, or where that came from?
No.
Okay, I thought this was pretty cool. It's Tenacious Defense.
Okay.
And where they got that from was an NBA game.
Okay.
One of the announcers, they were talking about, that's some tenacious defense.
They're big NBA guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I follow both of them on social media.
Okay.
And I remember like seeing a lot of like, especially like when it gets closer to like the finals championships, like they'll post a lot about like them watching like NBA and like with their like jerseys and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
They're big basketball guys.
Right. So yeah, and then so they were on stage at this place called Al's Bar, okay, in '94 out in LA, and they only had the one song, Tribute. Okay, so but I'm assuming they did covers because I read that, you know, they would cover some off the wall bands or whatever. So but they had a show going,
right?
Okay, David Cross was in the audience.
Okay, I love David Cross.
And that's kind of where that's pretty much how they got their start, because then David Cross and Bob Odenkirk put Jack Black on the show.
On Mr. Show, yeah.
Okay. And so that kind of got him started there. Well, then HBO gave Tenacious D a TV series.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was like 3-4 episodes, something like that. I think it's on Hulu, actually. You can see that, which I'm sure it'll probably end up on HBO Max.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. It's pretty funny. It's pretty much just their first album.
Yeah.
Is this HBO series.
Yeah, like each episode is like
but they tell the story of the tribute, the song, of meeting like you actually see the actual night that they came across the devil.
Yeah.
And whatever.
At the open mic night.
Yeah.
And wasn't it so Paul F. Tompkins, who played he was the open mic night host in the Pick of Destiny. Wasn't he also the
on the
mic
HBO series? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. He's fucking hilarious.
And it's funny because on the HBO series, they would like Tenacious D would give the host a note and like, read this, you know, like it's like you know, get ready to have your faces melted, like, you know, like, but he's like never read it, like. So in the Pick of Destiny, that's one of the scenes.
Yeah.
Like I think Jack Black's having like, he's just like daydreaming or sleeping in the car and like dreams, you know, that HBO series.
Yeah.
And he actually like
Similar,
reads note.
yeah.
They asked me not to read this, but I'm gonna read it anyway.
Yeah.
Which like during the series,
It was like, yeah, flip.
It was flip.
No, he's
Yeah.
like, the next band asked me to read this. And
Yeah.
it was always like the stupidest shit.
So, okay, the song Tribute. Good story behind that. There's actually a song that inspired that. Metallica's One.
Okay.
And they're like listening to that and they're like, man, that is the greatest song in the world. Like, you know, that we got to make a tribute pretty much. But then like the joke became kind of like, okay, tribute's kind of like a parody. The whole first album, they're self-titled, that came out in 2000, but like it's pretty much just a parody of the rock, like lifestyle, like the whole stereotype around that, and like, like Tribute, the greatest song in the world. Well, it's just your opinion. You can't write the greatest song in the world. Like, somebody could think it's the greatest, the next person could think it's the worst.
It's kind of funny because that's why they can't remember it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Well,
it's just a matter of opinion. Right. Wish you were there.
There's also I've seen some videos where like when they do that song live, at the end they'll do the like the Stairway riff, and they'll say, and we played the best song in the world with like the Stairway riff behind it, you know. So it's just another one of those things, like, you know, because a lot of people are like Stairway, you know, which is not even Zeppelin's best song, so like, get over it.
I'm reminded of that scene in Wayne's World where it's like, hey dude, and he points to the sign and says there's no stairway.
No stairway denied. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, they're on. They got pretty much discovered by David Cross and Bob Odenkirk. Okay, they're getting a little more recognized, and they're touring like, and they toured like all throughout the late 90s before their album even came out. So they had like all the songs written and that, and then actually it's kind of funny. They met up with Tool. With Maynard, okay? And he really liked him, so he had Tenacious D open up for Tool back in the day. And so now they were opening up for like Weezer, Pearl Jam, like all these huge bands. So now, but it was like 2000s when they finally signed with Epic Records. And like, they're like, we got to record these songs and make an album. and like Jack Black said he wanted to like go in the independent route, pretty much doing everything themselves. But it was like it was Cage. It was like, no, we got to sign a deal. Because that was Cage's dream. Like signing the big record deal. Like finally made it. So they did sign, and that's when they put out their first album or whatever.
Well, you know, I mean, the way that they started was kind of, I mean, that was like the Grateful Dead, you know, a lot of other jam bands that you could think of, Fish, you know, Dave Matthews Band to a certain extent. It's like they're touring bands,
right?
You know, and a lot of their stuff, like they don't, you know, it's like there's a lot of Dead songs that you can only find live versions of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they would record an album every once in a while because they were contractually obligated. But for the most part, man, they were just
most of the time they were working. They were on the road.
Just out there, you know, and like that's kind of, I think that kind of fits. Maybe not Cage as much, but I could definitely see Jack Black just kind of being like, nah, man, I just want to go entertain, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about the deals and the, you know, whatever, you know, I'm not worried about the record deal.
It's funny,
recording.
like,
but Jack Black had the movies and stuff going on too.
That's true,
right?
But I mean, you know, like KG shows up in a lot of those movies.
I was gonna say, like, they kind of helped each other.
Yeah,
like, Cage, you know, kind of gave the opening for the musical aspect of Jack Black, and then Jack Black brought Kyle into the movies because Yeah, like he said, like Cage is in a lot of movies.
That's true.
He shows up in Saving Silverman. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's like the magician that's trying to hit on Amanda Peet. Yeah. He has the rings, like the metal rings.
Yeah.
He's like, this is me, this is you. And he like links them together, and he's like, ooh, we rub each other. I rub you, you rub me.
I was gonna mention too, in the movie Pick a Destiny,
Yeah.
Kyle's wearing a yellow T-shirt that says Trainwreck.
That's his like side.
That's
project,
his
right?
band.
Yeah, that's his.
Oh,
band.
okay.
With Lee.
Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah. Talking fucking Lee. Yeah. And that was the same. That's the same Lee from the HBO series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Right.
Yeah. That's their friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any of the HBO series? Oh man, I have it. If it's not on Max or Hulu, I have it
I'll
on
look it up.
DVD. And if you want to, I'll bring it over. You can borrow it.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty funny. Like you said, I think it's like 6 episodes or something like that.
I don't even think it was that.
Maybe not.
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Yeah, maybe. It's not a lot. But they're funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Funny as fuck. And there's a couple songs in the series that they never like recorded on, like Jesus Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They like there's like an episode they go to this like Christian like ranch and they have a song where they're like, we had a fun day on Jesus Ranch. Yeah. Like, you know, and it's like that was something they never put on an album.
Yeah.
So
I guess we have to talk about them meeting up with Dave Grohl.
oh yeah, dude.
Because Dave Grohl is their drummer
Yeah.
for Tenacious D.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and he plays the devil in
He plays
Pick a
the
Destiny.
devil and yeah.
Okay.
Like he voices the devil in that. Yeah.
So it's Paul F. Tompkins. He's the open mic host.
Yeah.
And then when he transforms into the devil, it's actually Dave Grohl. And that's Dave Grohl doing the vocals. That's him playing the drums. That's him playing guitar. Like all the devil, like, because I mean, Dave Grohl is multi-talented.
Yeah.
You know, he plays a lot of instruments. So everything like that the devil plays on, in that song, that I'm the devil, all that, like that's him. That's him playing all that, singing all that. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got Dave Grohl on drums, guitar. Paige McConnell from Fish does keyboards. Warren Fitzgerald from the Vandals does guitar. And then Steve McDonald from Red Cross does the bass.
Oh, yeah.
And I read a quote where the Steve McDonald, the bassist, is like, yeah, I'm just trying to keep up with Dave Grohl playing and not laugh my ass off at Jack Black singing these lyrics like during Kielbasa, fuck her gently and songs like that.
Jesus.
He's like sitting there trying to like for real play and keep up with Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
And, like he's singing about this, like
That's funny.
like
I didn't think
cracking
about
me
that.
up, dude.
What a, yeah. Like that's such a like, like that being like pulled in those two directions,
Right.
working with somebody like Dave Grohl, and you're like, oh man,
Like legendary.
Yeah,
and then you've got Jack Black.
I gotta measure up to this and like make sure that I'm playing up to par with this guy, and then also I'm like,
You just got Jack Black being Jack Black. He's staying true to himself,
yeah. And Dave Grohl's so like effortlessly talented, and he knows Jack Black probably on a pretty personal level. Like they're friends with him, so he's probably used to it, and also like just doesn't have to think about how fucking amazing he is to just be amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, that's got to be I never even thought about that. That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, then you get Pick a Destiny. That was pretty much just a soundtrack. Love this. But
That whole
that was a good
the
album.
whole movie, the whole album, yeah, man.
But it kind of
love
it was technically a flop.
Yeah.
But and then Rise of the Phoenix was their third album.
Yeah.
And that one they just kind of parodied themselves.
Yeah.
Like making fun. But it's all pretty much just parodying rock.
Right.
And just living up to the like full stereotype.
Oh, dude. Well, even like I've never been lucky enough to like go to one of their shows live because they sell out in like
Seconds,
dude.
Seconds, man. Yeah. I'd love to go.
But I've seen some videos. Like I said, I have some DVDs and stuff. And even when they do their shows, like Like, have you seen the videos of Jack Black, like on like the talk shows doing like the saxoboom? The toy saxoboom. Three, motherfucker. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, motherfucker.
So, but he does that on stage at their shows.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like, you know, it's just, like you said, it's kind of like they're like mocking this whole like, we're rock stars, you know, like we're so cool.
Yeah.
Look at
It's like they're really talented, but they don't take themselves seriously.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Which makes you fucking love and appreciate everything.
It's like
they
a
do
sense of
so much
humility.
more. And that's, you know, that's going back to what I was talking about with everything he does. And it's not just in his movies, you know, it's in his music and even like the video game, like you were talking about. It's, you know, everything they do, you appreciate it and you feel like, dude, I could just hang out with that guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like watching one of us up on stage, like, look at him. He's just fucking, look at, he's just being goofy, you know?
Yeah,
like,
this is him being him.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's just, it makes you feel even more connected.
I think so too. You feel like just watching his movies and just like consuming his materials that you're like one of the bros.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the, when you watch things and you listen to music and also taking in art, you know, you're trying to connect with people. And when the artist makes it so easy for you to connect with them, it's kind of hard to like not want to consume their art and appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
Because you're like, yeah, it's just like my buddy. A good example of that, kind of just going off the rails for a second, is like I knew people that didn't like the Grown Ups movies, the Adam Sandler and stuff.
Okay.
I loved them.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like they were hanging out.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like me and my cousins, you know, and like, or just like us.
Yeah.
Just kicking it. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know, it just felt real.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still funny. You know, so like to make something like that, it's kind of rare.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention, So when Dave Grohl first seen him, it was like, okay, like back in the '90s or whatever, when they're just touring, and Tenacious D are backstage getting ready to go on, and Dave Grohl comes in. It's like, just want to let you guys know I'm here. And I'm super excited to see you guys. Like goes back. So then they have to go on like, oh shit, Dave Grohl, Nirvana drummer, Foo Fighters, man. Like he's here to see us. He's excited.
Yeah.
Like,
wow, that'd be crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah. Then they hooked up with the Dust Brothers, producers. Okay.
Yeah.
That's who produced their first album. They recorded that. Mm-hmm. In Neil Diamond's studio.
No fucking way, dude.
You know why? Because Neil Diamond was featured in Saving
Silverman. Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
That's where they linked up that friendship, and then they go to his studio, record.
Wow.
And like Dave Grohl was kind of reluctant to go, and like, okay, like what's this gonna be?
Yeah.
And like then, but he's like, I get there and like the studio's like super nice, real high end equipment, and everything's like, oh,
he's Neil
Diamond, right.
Which incidentally, I said Saving Silverman was like my first time like being exposed to Jack Black. That was also as a kid when I found out who the fuck Neil Diamond was.
Right.
And I was like 13, like getting into Neil Diamond. Bro.
Right.
Like had CDs and shit. And you know, I remember my mom and dad. What the fuck is happening right now? He likes Neil Diamond? Right. But I still to this day love Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Love Neil Diamond.
Dust Brothers, by the way, they've produced Beastie Boys and Beck's Ode Away,
yeah,
which is a great album. I love
Jack
that.
Black, he's done some stuff with Beck, hasn't he? Like not like they haven't recorded anything together. But
no,
I think they've like behind the scenes they've done some.
Right, I could totally see that. Couple other songs to mention. They did Time Warp.
Yeah.
From Rocky Horror Picture Show back in 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. And then a Beatles tribute where they mash up You Never Give Me Your Money in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. They all got Jack Black twist to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Then they do like a Who medley, which that's pretty good.
I could hear
Pinball Wizard and
Well, he's got the voice for
doctors.
that stuff.
Yeah.
He really does. He
Yeah.
has the power in his voice and stuff too. Yeah, you were talking about Beatles. I remember seeing, the mean tweets that they do on, I think it's Kimmel.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one, and it was it was Tenacious D, it was Jack Black, Kyle Gass, and they were reading it, and it was like, Tenacious D are like John Lennon and Paul McCartney, but much fatter and much gayer. And they were like, yeah, that's a compliment, actually. We'll take that all day. Right. Like, that's not even mean.
Then, Jack Black produced the song "Don't Blow It, Cage." It's a great little single or whatever. But
Okay.
now that's notable because Jack Black and Jack White
Yeah.
put out the album, the Gray album, or
Okay.
Jack Gray or something. Yeah, I haven't listened to it.
Jack White of the White Stripes.
Right.
Right.
He was in School of Rock.
Was he?
Wait, what?
He's in the band where, remember the band in the beginning where they kick Jack Black out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in the band.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. Huh. Then they got a song with Styx. They do backing vocals on "Kiss Your Ass Goodbye."
That's perfect. That's perfect for them.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much, man.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just crazy. I mean, how do you have time? Does he have a personal? Is he married? Kids?
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to look back on all the work that he's done. I think he's gonna go down as one of the. He could be
One of the greatest entertainers.
of all time.
Yeah.
I
I think he's already cemented his place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the more he works, he's just gonna further, just
I would love to see him come out with another video game, like he did with Brutal Legend.
yeah. Weren't they talking about doing a?
That I was looking it up. They were talking about doing a sequel. I don't know where they're at on stages or if it's even a thing or anything like that anymore. I don't know. But I went back and played it, to do this. And, his research and everything is just, or not his influence, I'm sorry. His influence on that video game is just, it's just awesome. It's got an epic soundtrack. It's got his humor, sprinkled throughout the entire game. And it's just over the top, and you were talking about poking fun at the stereotypical rock and they do that with the heavy metal. Yeah. So it came out in 2009 and it sold $250,000 copies, I believe it was. And was the 12th ranking game of that month or whatever. It didn't do real well for whatever reason. But even, I have the newest Xbox, and that game you can get on Game Pass, and it still holds up. It's for the time, the graphics were decent. The art is just amazing. Yeah. It kind of pays tribute to the heavy metal album art and everything like that.
Right.
So basically, you play a roadie named Riggs, and he's the best roadie ever, and he works for the worst metal band ever. Right before the episode, we watched the trailer. Yeah, and it's just over the top hilarious, and I wanted you guys to see that because that opening 7 minutes of the game is just pretty reflective of how the video game plays.
I remember playing it a little bit when it first came out.
Yeah.
Not much. I didn't play it all the way through. But I do remember playing it and then some of my friends playing it, just kind of hanging out and it would be on in the background while they're playing and we're hanging out, whatever. But even just the music, during the gameplay, just all of it.
It's just awesome. And the guitar that you play with has special powers, and you can do mind or head popping metal solos where the evil guys' heads explode and stuff. And so what you guys didn't see is as you get into this world, you have to fight a boss pretty early on, right? And there's a lot of bosses throughout the game. Yeah. But it's this demon temptress, okay? Or succubus. It's a succubus, really is what it is. But She's got this real like Jessica Rabbit physique, and then her face is nothing but like a metal cage that clamps down like that.
Okay.
And he's like, that's kind of hot in a weird kind of way, you know? And that's like the humor that's in it.
I only laugh because anytime someone says succubus,
Think of South Park.
Yeah.
there's got to be a morning after. We should have put South Park on this list.
We can add it.
Yeah.
We can't.
Oh God. We,
Right?
Dude,
Can
that's
we
like a
continue to add?
dude. That'd be like a never-ending episode if we started.
The Never-Ending Story.
It would be, man.
3, starring Jack Black. No, he had like a bit part. It was nowhere near starring.
Yeah. So the game didn't do all that well, which is a damn shame because I mean it's a super cool, and
Yeah.
it's still, even now. I mean, we're talking 15, 16 years later, or no, 14 years later.
Yeah.
It still holds its weight, man.
Right.
You know.
Is that played with the Guitar Hero?
No.
Guitar? Okay.
No, it's like a fighting third person view,
Oh, dude.
button masher kind of.
That would be that'd be dope though, to like incorporate that. Like if they had like partnered up with like Guitar Hero or something.
That would have been cool.
To be like, okay, so like use the normal controls
and then when
for
you
the
get
normal
into, you
gameplay.
or you get into a solo battle with the
when
fucking
you do
demon.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And then when you
Yeah.
do the solo battles, you got to pick up the guitar.
and solo battle.
Wouldn't
That'd
that'd be sick?
That'd be a good video game
Yeah.
concept. Yeah, it really would.
Too bad like all that shit's like in the past now.
You can still get that controller to work though. I'm
No,
sure.
you can, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like it's not.
Well, you could redefine
If you
the genre like that.
all right, well let's do it then.
We should. You know, it's funny that you brought that up because I've been looking at MIDI guitars,
Yeah.
and it's really freaking cool because
Okay.
I can plug that in, and it's like this little keyboard that I got, and I would operate the same way, but it would operate as a guitar. So I'd be sitting there playing guitar
With a digital output.
so it goes from the guitar to the computer, and then like if I want to play, so I could play chords. Okay, I'm playing a guitar, but I could assign it a piano, or I
Right.
could assign it a cello or something like that. And see, I'm a way better guitar player than I am
A cellist.
Gotcha.
a keyboard player.
Cello.
Not to say that I mean I'm not that good of a guitar player to begin with, to be honest, but I can play
Yeah.
the guitar a lot better than I can play the piano.
Right.
Right. So I've been thinking about getting
That's
one.
awesome.
and it's
Wow.
kind of compact. So you
Yeah.
can yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah, I want to get one bad, like real bad.
Ask Santa Claus.
I talked to Tori about it.
Right.
Have
She's
you
like,
been
"How
a
much
good
is
boy
it?"
this year?
She's like, how much is it? I was like, it's like $600. She's like, oh, okay, that's coming from you. That's not that bad.
Compared to like the
Yeah,
equipment and stuff you usually want.
yeah. You know, I'm usually hitting $1,000
Yeah.
minimum. Like, she's like, what do you really want? What I really want, we can't afford. So,
Right.
you know.
So I want this
Whole
guitar.
studio.
But yeah, so if you guys ever get a chance to check out Brutal Legend on, I know it's on Xbox on Game Pass. You really should play it. It's an all around fucking funny,
Yeah.
epic metal button mashing game, and it's really well done.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. We were talking about like everything he's done. Everything he does well, and he does it well while not even taking himself seriously. You know, that you can tell that there's a lot like in the character rigs, that there's a lot of him in that character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it won game developers choice for like the soundtrack, and I want to say voice acting.
Okay.
Okay. I think Ozzy Osbourne is in it, and he voices some characters in
Okay.
it. And
I could see that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Ozzy's another one of those. He puts out that persona. He has this like image of like, oh, Ozzy Osbourne, like the demon child, bites the heads off bats. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Right.
But that people don't realize that's a character.
Right.
And like when like remember like he had like the show The Osbournes and things like that, and it's like, no man, like he's actually just like kind of like a chill guy. He just hangs out at his house wearing sweatpants,
Drinking beers.
he's he was in like
Somebody has stolen my bills.
like he was in Little Nicky with Adam
That's right, he
Sandler.
was. Yeah.
He's done some voiceover stuff. He was in like the Trolls movie.
Yeah.
where he's like the grandpa, like the king of like the metal trolls or like the rock trolls or something, you know. And it's like you don't do things like that without being kind of like a chill, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, like kind of down to earth, you know, maybe not in the same way that Jack Black is, but like Ozzy still kind of gives me that vibe of like, nah, he's just somebody's like cool grandpa.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
right. You know, like he's not like, he doesn't
Cool
really
grandpa that party way too
Jack
hard.
Black's kind of like
day.
the crazy fun uncle.
Yeah.
Like Jack Black is the kind of like uncle that'd be like, okay, don't tell your mom this, but I'm gonna give you these mushrooms tonight, and we're gonna have some fucking fun.
Right.
Did you ever see that episode of Workaholics with him in it? Where he plays, he was Adam Devine's character's dad. And then, spoiler, at the end of the episode, you find out he wasn't his dad, he was his brother.
Yeah.
And he was like, I just, you know, mom told me not to tell you because you needed a father figure. He's like, are you mad? He's like, no, dude, I'm relieved. Like, you were a shitty dad. You were an awesome older brother.
Right.
There's a difference there.
It's like, no, as a brother, you were great. As a dad, you were shit. And like one of my favorite things that I've ever seen him do, and it just goes to show like how he's just like willing to like just have fun. He was in an episode, which a lot of celebrities do, of Yo Gabba Gabba. Really? And it was a whole special where like he was like an Evel Knievel type, like, and he like flies in on this motorcycle and he's like, I'm lost. I got lost on my motorcycle.
But Brutal Legend for me, man, is just something that it just encompasses Jack Black's like the kind of like the essence of his being. You know, you get to ride around and eventually you get to ride around in a vehicle that's they call it the Deuce, which is reminiscent of Dragula from the Monsters, and then that whole style like coupe kind of car. You get to roll around in that. It's like a convertible top, and just I don't know, it was just. You guys should check it out, play it. It's fucking hilarious. It's got an epic metal soundtrack. The artwork is done, and it still holds its weight. And you know.
So does it got the music playing like that, like when you're fighting?
Yeah.
Or was that added on?
No, that's the actual music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like during gameplay, like I remember like playing it back in the day. And,
it's epic.
Like I said, like even if I wasn't the one playing, like if I was hanging out with, you know, friends or whatever, and somebody else was playing it in the background, it was just like, oh, at least we had like some background music,
right?
You know, like
Well, and it's funny too because like the guitar has special powers, and then like you can do special moves with it, and like you're doing like these freaking solos. Well, then your guitar can overheat. And the strings are like burning and shit. So you gotta like, and he's like, it's gotta cool down, you know. And then like,
working so hard.
Eventually, some of the your enemy NPCs or the enemy characters that you're fighting are like headbanger, or like just dumb. They're kind of stupid, and that their weapon is headbanging. So they come up there and bang their head on you and shit.
They're like headbanger zombies or something.
Yeah, something like that. But you know, you're in this like underworld.
Oh yeah, they're like it's like
fantasy.
Demons,
Yeah,
that's right.
And then you've got these different bosses, and it's just an epic game, and it'd be really cool to see him come out with another game with the technology that's available for the graphics and everything. It's just
definitely
it would take it to a whole other level, or to see him maybe do something in the VR realm. That would be cool if he if I was his agent, I'd be like, you need to do something in VR because you have the potential to redefine or affect how VR is.
Well, I don't think there's anything he wouldn't jump on. I mean, especially if it's something he likes, and we all know he likes video games. That was one of the more recent, like Tenacious D. They did like a video. Like
they did. Yes.
I still love video games or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I don't think there's nothing he would do at this point where I'd be like surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's like I remember like hearing like when the Super Mario Brothers movie and they were like Chris Pratt's gonna voice Mario, and I was like, really? Like that was a surprise to
me. Here's my question I'm gonna give to you.
Uh-huh.
He is so well received and like he's a household name now.
Yeah.
Could he do a video game like Brutal Legend now? With the crass humor, the epic, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like cussing, and it's not gonna take him out of the house, kind of the. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I think my answer to that is yes, because, just because of who he is, and I don't think anybody could get away with that, but I think he can.
Yeah, I mean, because if you go to a Jack Black movie and it's rated R, you probably know it's not for kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, when he did School of Rock, Kung Fu Panda, things like that, and it opened him up to do like more family movies. While he was doing all those movies, like, those and Shark Tale and Nacho Libre, Gulliver's Travels, like it was like every other year was something like that, and then on the off years it was like Tropic Thunder, Pick of Destiny.
Okay, that's a good point, yeah.
And he was continuing to do that, and so it was very like versatile back and forth. And it's just, I mean, I think he'd still, I think he'd get away with it.
Yeah. So, I don't know about you guys, but the last few weeks have been a really big fucking pain in my ass.
Yeah.
And I've got a vent.
All right.
And
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah. Blow off a little steam.
Yes. You know what really throttles my fucking crankshaft?
Why don't you tell us?
Pumpkin spice.
Ooh, yeah.
The fucking shit comes out in August. It's fucking 100 degrees out. And you got these fucking Karens and you got these soccer moms and shit lining up at fucking Starbucks.
Pumpkin spice,
fucking
everything.
Pumpkin spice. And let's be honest. Let's call it for what it is. It's not fucking pumpkin. It's like cinnamon or nutmeg, right?
Cinnamon is probably cinnamon and nutmeg mixed together.
Okay.
I enjoy. Okay.
Okay.
I do.
Hold on.
Hey,
Hold on.
That's all right.
I was gonna defend pumpkin spice, and I can't even do it.
There is no defense for this horrid fucking trend. Okay, and it's not just the lattes.
It's got to be burning out soon, doesn't it?
Dude, it's a it's a fucking marketing scheme is what I think it is, right? And then everyone will like, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, it's like McDonald's and the McRib.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, here's what
they only come out with it once a year.
So cinnamon and nutmeg. These spice, McCormick and all these spice companies, they got all this cinnamon and nutmeg. Like, man, we only sell it during Thanksgiving and Christmas.
How do we fucking get these dumbass people to buy all this?
We need to keep pushing this season for. So now they got it in October. Now,
Don't get me wrong. It's not just the fucking pumpkin spice lattes and shit. It's the pumpkin spice fucking Oreos. It's the pumpkin spice
everything, dude.
Chicken seasoning. It's
pumpkin spice Doritos.
It's the pumpkin spice.
That's gonna be the next. It's gonna be the next Locos Taco.
I bet they got pumpkin spice toilet paper.
Yes.
Paper towels.
Yeah. They got
trash bags.
Okay, you know
trash bags that smell like pumpkin
spice chewing gum.
Oh.
Okay, the pumpkin scented trash bags actually doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah, it kind of does, man. In my opinion.
I mean, it would overpower
some of those scented
anything.
Bags. It's like I'd rather just smell the trash than the trash and this. Yeah, and I don't know what it is. It's just like I know it's fall and it's but. I mean, if you want your fucking pumpkin spice, eat fucking
really
pumpkin pie.
They really put it in your face, though.
They really do.
The pumpkin spice shit. And like you say, it's like everything. Everything,
gross.
Every food now has a pumpkin spice flavor.
Pumpkin spice
Red Hot Riplets.
Yeah.
Right. Those are my jam,
Red Hot Riplets would not do that.
Right. Speaking of Red Hot Riplets, that's only a St. Louis thing, right?
Yes, it is.
You can't get them out of St. Louis.
Old Vienna.
Well, you can, but they're very limited.
Right.
The Old Vienna factory is
down in Fenton.
Is in Fenton.
Yeah. That's my jam. Those are my jam.
Now, you see they got different flavors now.
Yeah.
They got jalapeno ranch.
Mm-hmm.
They got like a mesquite barbecue.
Oh, yeah. They did
allspice.
They did like a complete overhaul like this year, right?
And I tell you what, the jalapeno ranch Red Hot Riplets,
dude, they got like some pretty cool flavors. Like they're good.
Whatever you guys do, if Red Hot Riblets is listening to this, please, for the love of God,
we could use a couple boxes.
With a pumpkin spice.
Yeah, don't follow that trend.
That's that's a product that I could get behind. We talked about getting sponsored.
Yeah, maybe we could reach out and be like, hey, we're local. Could you sponsor us?
We need to reach out.
I love Red Hot Rebels.
They're my jam, dude. They're my all-time favorite.
See,
it's
and
funny that you like them, like we all like them like that, because I am crazy about them, dude. Like
I love them.
Well, and this is what we talked about with sponsorship. We want it to be something that we love and that we'd support, and like we need to talk to Old Vienna about that.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
we love their product, so it's
Yeah.
like, we'll push that.
Dude, and I would totally push Old Vienna.
Fuck yeah.
Go to your local gas station, convenience store.
They're kind of hard to
Pick
find
up a
around
bag.
here. Like I can't get them at the Schnucks by right here.
Really?
Right?
It's sometimes with those grocery stores, it depends.
It's hit or miss.
Yeah,
It is.
I think it just depends on what they sell.
You're gonna have to probably go to like a gas station.
You can get them.
I see 'em more at gas
some
stations.
Schnucks. I like getting the big bags.
Yeah.
though, 'cause-
True.
Yeah.
They have them at the Schnucks by my house.
Yeah. You see them all out in the county.
I shop at Schnucks a lot too. That's another local.
That is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a St. Louis.
Schnook started the pork steaks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, that's a St. Louis thing.
So
pork steak.
I did know that, and I knew that when I went to Atlanta a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And the host that I was staying with, I was staying with my buddy's daughter, but it was her husband's like family. So I had no idea who these people were. I didn't even know his daughter. I was staying. I knew him, my buddy that I work with.
Yeah.
And he was telling me he's from Boston.
Boston.
And he was like, never heard of a pork steak before. I was like, what?
Missing
That's
out.
another thing that is like a strictly St. Louis thing that I grew up with.
We should
had
do
no idea.
a whole like St. Louis showcase episode.
Absolutely, because there's so much. I mean,
Did we put that
toasted red. I think it might
Can
be.
we put?
It might be on the list of upcoming.
Because I know I mentioned that before.
see
I
it.
mean, there's a.
I don't see it.
We've
but-
got the
but
movies. We
can-
got the music. We got the food.
Well,
we got.
While we're talking about it, let's roll twice because I think we're gonna do 2 next, right?
Okay, yeah,
So let's go. Do you want to roll?
yeah.
So we have a list of topics 1 through 20. We have a 20-sided die or D20, and we're gonna let the fates decide what.
Is it
our
just one
next-
roll? My roll determines. Is this the roll of destiny?
Will be the next episode.
This is the roll of destiny, and then we'll alternate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, roll of destiny. Here we go. 12.
12. Mario.
How
Mario
fucking fitting.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
How
is gonna
fitting
be
is that?
our next
That's
topic.
that is the role of destiny. It was destined. It was
So-
preordained.
All right. I'm gonna cross that off, and we'll just pop that on the docket. All right. Next episode, Super Mario Brothers. That's gonna be fun.
That is going to be fun. We're going to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
We're going to talk
Well,
about
both movies.
both
We're talking about the failed.
the failed one
Live
with John
action.
Leguizamo
Yeah.
and what's his name?
Bob Costas.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shit, man.
So much.
Oh, there is. We
So
can-
much.
Yeah.
We're gonna fill an episode with that one. See,
All the games.
Greg's already on it.
Dude, I'm gonna have to do some extensive. There's so many.
Yeah.
I love.
Beep, 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 beep.
You ever hear that joke? What kind of pants does Mario wear? Denim, denim, denim.
Yeah. Denim,
Yes.
denim,
Denim,
right.
denim. Well, guys, thank you for tuning into another awesome episode. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit us up on every venue or every platform that you can find out there that hosts podcasts. And we are going to see you next time.
Yeah. Keep on rocking.